Women's rugby is poised for a takeoff in India, with girls from across the country taking to it with great enthusiasm. These are fantastic journeys of girls from small towns and varied backgrounds, ready to get on the field and play tough.
मेरा ऑफिस में एक दोस्त है, उसका नाम है कमल। वो एक दिन ऐसे मैंने घर में आया तो वो मुझे फ़ोन करके बोल रहे तब पूछी तू रग्बी खेलेगा, ऐसे करके फ़ोन करते। मैं सोचा मजाक कर रहा, रग्बी क्या गेम से सच्ची में मुझे पता नहीं था, मतलब दूसरा गेम के बारे में पता नहीं, लेकिन रग्बी हो क्या। तो मैंने बोला रग्बी कौन सा गेम है, तो उसने बोला ओ तू दिल वाले दुल्हनिया देखा, नमस्ते लंदन देखा, उसमें देख ले एक बॉल लेके भाग रहा है ना, वही वाला गेम है। ये रग्बी बहुत अच्छा गेम है।
Rugby is actually it's my passion. That's why I am not taking rugby just as my game only. It's my passion. That's it. I means rugby is is totally different from other games. We can take the cricket, football, and other games. There is nothing like do and die. This is the only game in which we have do and die. And rugby is like it's such a brilliant game. I mean, it's given me happiness, it's given me joy, and I've lived my dream. Like I have played for India because of rugby. The game is so, I don't know, you get so passionate about the game that you feel like playing. You get the energy and you like go hit, and you know. If you got a lot of anger and that craziness in you now, rugby is a perfect sport for you.
I judged rugby before I even started playing it. I thought it was too aggressive and unnecessary thrashing, unrequired beating up. And it turned out to be wrong. There's quite a lot of skill, quite a lot of thinking that goes behind the game. And definitely you do need the fitness for the tackling and everything. It's a great combination of the two.
It doesn't matter what size or shape you are. You've got to have basic requirements of strength, speed, fitness. You don't have to have all of them. You might not be very fast, but if you're strong and you're able to last out, you have basic fitness levels, you always have a position in the team. So it's a game for all.
Ruck is when a person hits, goes down. The moment you're on the ground, you can't touch the ball. So the moment you're down, you have to let go of the ball. So because you let go of the ball, the next people have to come and drive the person who's tackled you away. And then the next one will come bridge, and then the opposition will come try to whack her. And in a ruck, once the ruck is formed, the opposition can only come over the ruck. They can't come from the sides. So then there's heavy contact there, everyone just backing each other.
What is
Maul again is similar, but the person who hits does not go down. The next 2-3 people coming in have to in fact lift her up, keep the ball hidden from the opposition, because in a maul you can put your hand on the ball. So generally the person gets lifted and the ball is passed back while both the teams are driving each other. Something like a scrum, active scrum.
Any other aggressive aggro terminology that you have?
Hitting, and you know there are hitters who just go in through, you know, hit people and just go through, which would be like me or Wabis. We get the ball and just hit and try to go forward.
One of the key things in rugby is to keep those tackles low. Keep those tackles low. No hair pulling.
I mean, rugby is 100 years old in India. Most people don't know that, or as old as cricket, if not older. But it hasn't grown because it was an elitist sport. Now what has happened is everybody's coming on to it because of various factors. One is, that they are seeing people come out and teach them a new sport. Two, they are also seeing, a lot of women taking up the sport. Three, with Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, and now Olympics taking up the sport, everybody is coming to know of that. So there are various factors that are contributing to this.
You are aware about the Kashmir situations and all that. That really frustrates us, and we girls really are comes from the conservative background. We have always, our parents, not only parents, our neighbors and society always tells us to remain reserved type. This really makes us feel down sometimes that we the girls are playing sports. Our society is not so cooperative. As we go for the external states, there we see everyone is supportive. Here we don't get so much of support from the society. This really frustrates us. So when we came on the ground, we remain all our frustrations.
Rugby has been received by the women, far more, and they feel, that here is a sport that gives us a kind of a license to go out and really enjoy ourselves, and that's what's really clicking.
हम प्रैक्टिस वैसे नहीं कर पाते हैं, कभी हड़ताल समथिंग लाइक दैट, किसी की कॉल का वहाँ चलो यहाँ चलो, दैट रियली मेक्स अस, और हम कंटिन्यू प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर पाते हैं जैसे कि बाहर के प्लेयर्स, उनको कंटिन्यू प्रैक्टिस है और कभी भी प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, रात के 12 बजे भी करें तो उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, और यहाँ पे तो शाम के साथ ही सब कुछ बंद ही हो जाता है, दैट
A passion for sport, a simple enjoyment of the game, circumstances, necessity, crisis. A host of factors draws girls from across the country to this physically demanding game. From small towns to metros, young girls join in to scrum, tackle and maul with vigor and fervour.
It was very rough at that point of time at my house. I was like, I've always been treated like a boy, like throughout, until I reached the age of 16, which is when my dad decided that, oh, I have a daughter, not a son. So like being treated as a son means everything, like I used to get whacked and everything, and my dad was like, he's been pretty much of an alcoholic So he used to hit me every night. He used to get drunk and he used to just like hit me. So, I mean, right now he doesn't acknowledge it. I told him, like, I've actually spoken to him about this, and he's like, no, I mean, I must have hit you just once or twice. And I remember, because I used to write a diary, like, I used to write it down, because at one point, I mean, I used to read a lot, and I used to write it down, because I didn't have any other outlet. And as soon as I got judo, you know, like, that was like my thing. You know, I used to like bear with everything at home, and those 2 hours, my opponents, I really, really pity them. Like, I used to go all out, all out.
Like, you know, my dad, he played hockey for Maharashtra. He's done bodybuilding also at a high level. And he basically just wanted me to, you know, do something in sports and keep myself continuously active and, you know, into something rather than just like lying in the house, like, you know, watching TV or something.
मैं लाइफ में बहुत स्ट्रगल करने के बाद आज इस लेवल में आई हूँ। क्लास 5 से मैंने स्पोर्ट्स छोड़ दी थी, क्योंकि मेरा आगे पीछे कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं था आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हमको। मम्मी पापा पैसा खर्चा कर सकती है, लेकिन सपोर्ट नहीं दे सकती है। हमको ले जाना, लेके आना, कहीं एडमिशन करने के लिए, कहाँ क्या होता है स्पोर्ट्स, इस सब के बारे में नॉलेज नहीं था, टाइम भी नहीं था। तो मेरा इरादा एक ही था कि स्पोर्ट्स करना है, एम्बिशन पूरा करना है। नौकरी कोई एम नहीं था मेरा, लेकिन नौकरी मेरा हो गया स्पोर्ट्स करते करते। कोई एम नहीं था, हाँ ये पता था कि नौकरी एक दिन होने वाला है, हमको मिलने वाला है नौकरी एक दिन ना एक दिन, और मिलेगा पक्का। स्ट्रगल करके स्पोर्ट्समैन बनना, इसका मज़ा ही कुछ अलग है। जब स्ट्रगल करके कोई स्पोर्ट्समैन बनता है ना, तब लगता है कि हाँ लाइफ में कुछ अचीव किया। इसका फीलिंग्स से कुछ अलग है।
जॉब के लिए भी बहुत लड़कियां खेलने को आती है। जॉब मिल गया कि गेम छोड़ दिए। परमानेंट गेम ऐसा कोई भी नहीं खेलते, सिर्फ पढ़ाई के लिए 25 मार्क्स मिलते ना उसमें सर्टिफिकेट के लिए पार्टिसिपेंट होने में, इसलिए लड़कियां बहुत से सर्टिफिकेट के लिए आती है खेलने को। जितने दिन तक खेलना मिलेगा उतने दिन तक खेलूँगी, जब तक शादी नहीं होती तब तक खेलूँगी।
Actually, I was very, very young at that age. Actually, I don't know my father. I was just only 3 years old. So I even not know my father by face. I have not even seen. I don't have any memories of my father. So when I grew up, later my mom told me that usually 91s, 95s there was such a conflict here in Kashmir. At any station that mom says that we don't know how that years passed. That was the only thing here was only the strikes and all that. So that was the thing. My father passed away in that, and I really don't know how and why, what happened. That later my mom told that this was due to conflict. Your father was passing, and due to gunshots, your father passed away. You can say this is actually the real frustration. Sometimes a child really needs both of his parents. Mom never make us feel that we don't have father. Not a single thing हमें मामा से कहा हो और उसने नहीं रखा हो. Not a single thing. लेकिन फिर भी that is मतलब जो missing है वो missing है. That वो उससे भी थोड़ा होता है जो हम ground पे निकाल सकते हैं opposite player से. That's it.
Women's rugby is now played at the club level in Pune, Delhi, Srinagar, Chennai, Kolkata, Bhubaneswar, towns in Kerala, Manipur, Assam and Haryana, as well as several army nodes in Ahmedabad, Bangalore and Ambala.
just want to be on the top. We want to defeat the Pune girls who are having a lot of pace, but I just want to break their pace, and inshallah, I am just proud of myself that inshallah next time in coming April we will defeat them.
पुणे के टीम के साथ खेले, पहली बार हार गए, फिर बाद में ओडिशा के टीम के साथ खेले, वहाँ पे 2 मैच हुए हमारे, बट हार गए। प्रैक्टिस नहीं थी ना लड़कियों को, इसीलिए हम हार गए।
प्रैक्टिस क्यों नहीं है लड़कियों को?
लड़कियां पढ़ाई कर रही थी, डीएड की लड़कियां थी, एक जगह सब लड़कियां ने, और ऐसे टीम भी हमारी ऐसी अच्छी नहीं थी, इसलिए प्रैक्टिस टाइम भी बहुत कम था, इसीलिए प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर सके हम। कि हम भी उनको हराएंगे, अभी हम भी वो टीम की तरह ही होंगे, इसलिए हम प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। और अब बहुत वही देखा है उसमें, वो टीम कैसी खेलती है, वो जीत कर गई, हम भी अगली बार जीत कर जाएंगे, ऐसे देखा है।
एक्चुअली हम लोग का कंपटीशन ज़्यादा टफ होता है पुणे के साथ, एगेंस्ट पुणे के साथ हार्ड होता है, लेकिन हम लोग का जंगल क्रॉस का टीम में सब एथलीट है ना, इसलिए हम लोगों का स्पीड है, पावर है, स्ट्रेंथ है, इंडोरेंस भी है। ये हम लोग का सबसे प्लस पॉइंट है कि हम लोग के पास इंडोरेंस भी है, स्पीड भी है एंड पावर भी है, जो रग्बी के लिए ज़रूरत है। फिटनेस, मस्ट फिटनेस, तो फिटनेस हमारा जंगल क्रॉस में बहुत अच्छा है।
Since their debut in the Asian Women's Tournament in Thailand in 2009, India has demonstrated a lot of talent for a budding young team. Yet the women's team has garnered praise for qualifying in the 2010 Asian Games in China and for winning matches in international rugby sevens tournaments. They are on their way to becoming a significant powerhouse in Asian rugby.
Crouch. Touch. Cross, engage. Right.
Is Pune's Barbies the prototype of the rugby player? Or does the agility and speed of Kolkata's Tapasi have an equally important role in the game? Where do Ketki's knowledge and skills fit in the equation?
We got from Calcutta Jungle Crew, they got some good athletics from their team, and that's why we picked them, because in sevens we need pace.
You have, from Pune Wabis, you see her, she's excellent. Look at her. I mean, she's been in wrestling, she's been in handball, and now this is her first sport.
Well, when I'm in speed, I don't think anyone can really stop me, and I think that's what really scares them. And when there's someone thin, like her or someone, so I just go straight, I just run, because I know that they won't be able to get my legs that fast. Both of their hands make my one leg. So.
Ketki, she knows the game very well. She understands the game properly and quickly, and she knows where to run, where to support, how she gonna, what time she talk to the players. When you play games, it's a very good, very important for communication. Talk to each other. That's how Ketki, she got a good communication with the players. Like she is a good leader.
As soon as it was announced that there was going to be like the first ever women's rugby games in Konwa, and that the Hong Kong team was coming to play against us, that we were going to be able to play opposition for the first time ever, that was what motivated me, and it got me back onto the track like what I used to be. I used to work out like 7 days a week. I was like a machine at that point of time, but now at least, I mean, I'm not doing that much, but at least 5 days at least I should work out, which I'm doing.
In rugby, if you're lucky, you get away with a cut eye or bruised lips. If not, you're out for an entire season.
Get ready. Go, go.
I think just being in camp, to them, some of them, that's it. Okay, I'm in camp, I'm in the national squad, because I'm happy, right? But some of them don't have any goals. Just being here, that's a big deal. Okay, but you've got to change that mindset. If they want to play rugby, they want to be successful, I've got to come down to their level, change the mindset around, and then say, okay, let's do the hard yards, let's go and play rugby.
So training is critical to not only channel individual aggression, but also to evolve as a good team.
Like you stay mentally fit. Like the training can get to you sometimes, thrice a day sometimes is pretty hard, and if they take a lot of fitness on certain days, you really just have to push through. So that's probably the hardest thing, like keeping focused and keeping mentally fit.
Going forward. Go.
Physical injury is a key concern in a sport like rugby. In the rough and tumble of it, noses can be bloodied, ligaments badly torn, bones broken. You grin and bear it, get treatment and play on. Or get out.
कोई किसी को बाल से नहीं खींचेगा और ना ही कोई किसी को दांत से काटेगा, वरना आपको लाल कार्ड देकर मैदान से बाहर कर दिया जाएगा.
इंजरी तो बहुत होता है, मतलब पहली बार मैच में बोला ना, जब पहले हम लोग का एक्सपीरियंस पहला मैच है, उसमें तो हमारा एक लड़की था पिंकी, उसका तो नाक में इतना ज़ोर से मारा, क्योंकि ये गेम में रूल्स है, मतलब तुम्हारा सर से लेके गर्दन तक कोई टच नहीं कर पाएगा, तो उसको काट देखना पड़ेगा, लेकिन गर्दन से पाँव तक कहीं पे भी वो मार सकती है, मार के बॉल छीन सकती है. तो अभी लड़की लोग है, सच्ची में सबको तो रूल्स उतना पता नहीं, इतना ज़ोर से मारते, उन लोग को क्या पता, उन लोग को, हम लोग को भी दिमाग में यही था कि बॉल छीलना है, भाग रहा है, फिर वो मर जाए, कुछ हो जाए, से उसके बाद है.
So I could see someone catching up onto me, and I could feel her like trying to grab on, and they're like, as soon as you know, like when someone is grabbing onto you, you like take the first few steps ahead, like you don't go down directly for a ruck. So that first step that I took, like to pump myself forward, was on bad surface. First my ankle twisted outwards, then my knee twisted inside because my ankles are very flexible. So it got twisted and it got bent with force, and I heard a snap, and then it was bad. Like I don't remember where the ball went. There was just so much pain, like I had never felt before.
Okay. Push your knee on my hand. Push your knee down on my hand. The knee.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Despite the praise reserved for women's rugby, the players also face society's disapproving taunts of unfeminine sporty bodies. Those who are ready to risk bodily injuries on the field also have to tackle deeply rooted notions of gender.
course, I had a couple of people I won't name who have discouraged me, but then I didn't give it a thought either. They used to be like, you know, you're getting tanned, you're turning black, and you know, you're a girl, you know, the racist things, you know, you'll be turning very black for your marriage future, it's going to be tough, and you know, those types. And even one of my doctors, I have a mud allergy. So I get all these rashes in my leg when I play in the mud. So I used to go to him, he used to be like, stop playing rugby, you know, it's going to worsen, then you won't be able to wear shorts, nothing and all. But then I really didn't give it a thought, you know.
अरे इधर में प्रैक्टिस करके पूरा काला हो गया था, तो अभी सोच रहा है देखो कुछ भी करो, खेलो या जो करो, ग्लैमर की भी ज़रूरत होती है ना इसलिए थोड़ा थोड़ा जब टाइम मिलता है उसका भी कुछ चर्चा कर लेता है और क्या है, सभी चाहती है ना हमको भी सुंदर लगे ऐसा ही है, मैंने भी थोड़ा कुछ लगा लिया था
Added to this social conditioning, there often exists a corresponding lack of emotional support for women players suffering abuses and its consequences due to the prominence of the body in sport.
I mean, I was the first person in that place to win a medal for nationals, and the second day, like the next day, I went for my practice session again. Like I used to go early. I used to be the first person there, put on the mats and start practicing. And my judo coach, like he also came early that day for some odd reason, and then things didn't like go right. A mishap occurred, and it was really hard to deal with. So I stopped everything, and I kind of blamed myself for it for a while. The first person I confided this in was my mother, and she did not understand. I showed her, like I made my brother do the same thing, and I stretch, and I showed her what happened to me. She did not understand. She did not understand, and it was so hard for me to believe that my own mother did not get me. Like my mother, she's a woman. She should have understood. She's like, no, like such things happen, and I was like, are you serious? Something like this ever happened with you? So the only thing she was saying was that, oh, someone looked at her in a certain way, and that's why she felt grossed out. I was like, I was touched, you know, like you cannot imagine. It was disgusting. And then, well, later on,
in the wider social context, is marriage a minor casualty in a career in sports? Do the players succumb to social or familial pressures?
लड़कियां नहीं है ना प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए, भेजते नहीं माँ बाप किसी के भी खेलने के लिए। क्यों नहीं भेजते? शादी कर देते लड़कियां, जैसे 12th हुआ कि शादी कर देते।
शादी के बाद मैं छोड़ दूँगी। अगर मेरा हस्बैंड बोलेगा खेलो तो रग्बी में इंटरेस्ट होगा, तो मुझे लगता है नहीं हम स्पोर्ट्स किया तो चलो मज़ा से किया, अभी दूसरा लाइफ है तो उसको भी एंजॉय से करेंगे, उसमें इसको घुसने नहीं देंगे इसलिए स्पोर्ट्स छोड़ देंगे उसके बाद।
Despite the difficulties faced by the girls to take up rugby as a professional sport, there are increasing attempts by the Indian Rugby Board to provide more exposure to the players through international tournaments and popularize the sport among a wider audience.
The Sai Jungle Crows winning it 15-10. We now call the captain of the Jungle Crows, Sai Jungle Crow team to accept the cup. Well done, Jungle Crows. Well done.
Fitness
इंडोरेंस एंड स्ट्रेंथ जो पुणे के पास नहीं है। और हम लोग बोलते नहीं कि हम हराएंगे, हम जो है मार्च में करके दिखाएंगे। वो लोग पहले से इतने बोला, हमको इतना डरा, हम बोलो कितने को पकड़ेगा, हम साथ है, साथ ही सेम है।
We do realize that at the end of the day, for the sport to really grow and become popular, we have to get at the grassroots, which means schools must start playing rugby. At the end, if schools start playing rugby, then automatically we'll get the player base, we'll get the support, and we'll get the recognition and everything. So, in that context, last 2 years, we've been growing almost at 50%.
With something like this, it's the fact that it's great to see this spread around the country, but I bet you it's only a small part of every different part of the country that is aware of this. And so constantly what we're trying to do is somehow trying to provide and help the Indian Rugby Union to be able to organise more of these events. Because the more of these events that happen, the more girls and kids and whatever that come through it realise there's an event and they want to come and take part, the more it'll spread.
The future is bright indeed. India is taking its first steps in the wide world of women's rugby, looking to stride leaps and bounds past other Asian giants in the near future. The most heartening aspect is the game's infiltration into rural India. The lively barefoot players of Nanded and Gujarat are hopeful examples.
और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात ये है, तो आदिवासी एरिया से यहाँ पे लड़कियाँ थी, कोई फैसिलिटी कोई नहीं है सर, फिर भी वो इंटरेस्ट दिखाती, क्योंकि इससे पहले वो बहुत से स्टेट के लिए खो खो कबड्डी से सहभाग पार्टिसिपेट हो भी चुके थे, इसलिए उनसे भी। और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात ये है, पेरेंट्स, वो घर वाले उनसे पूरा अथॉरिटी देते थे कि आप जाओ खेलो, क्योंकि ये समाज में ऐसा था, लड़की तरफ देखने के बाद ये खेल नहीं पाते लड़कियाँ, लेकिन अभी वो टोटल चेंज हो चुका है।
Inroads of rugby into these smaller places has happened in the last 3 or 4 years, and whether it's coincidental or not, I really don't know, but it has happened when we started girls rugby.
The team's going to China tomorrow. Tapasi, clap. Sit down, thank you. Sitapa. Priyanka.
Recognizing the difficulties faced in taking up rugby as a professional sport, there are increasing attempts by the Indian Rugby Board to popularize the game among a wider audience. Many have been bitten by the rugby bug.
Surabhi. Avani. Wabish. Niharika. Gayatri. Neha. Katki. These are the girls who picked for the first tournament.
The ever-growing number of clubs, the support extended by the international body, the Asian Rugby Football Union, to popularize the sport in India, the changing mindset towards sports in large stretches of the country, all hold out the promise of attracting more women to come out and play rugby.